Have you ever felt like you should be feeling something? Sadness, anger, fear about something that happened, something significant, maybe even something painful. But instead, there's just nothing. Like a thick fog has settled inside you, muffling everything. You go through the motions, you function, but that genuine emotional response, that release, it just isn't there. You might even find yourself wondering if something is wrong with you for not feeling as deeply as you think you should. I see you. I understand that feeling. It's like carrying a weight you can't quite describe, an emptiness that's somehow also heavy. Today, we're going to talk about this very experience, emotional numbness, and explore how it might be acting as a silent barrier, preventing you from truly processing and healing from past trauma. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cherese Chandell, and I'm so grateful you're here with me today. Our conversations here are always about understanding ourselves better, navigating our emotions with grace, and ultimately moving towards a more whole and authentic version of ourselves. So, what exactly is emotional numbness? It's essentially a state where you experience a reduced ability to feel emotions, both positive and negative. It can feel like being disconnected from yourself, your feelings, and detached from your experiences, and sometimes even from the people around you. It's often an unconscious defense mechanism, a way our minds try to protect us from overwhelming pain or distress. Think of it like the circuit breaker in your house tripping when there's too much electrical current. Your emotions, your feelings are overloaded. They might temporarily shut down to prevent further damage. I remember a time years ago after a difficult breakup. On the surface, I seemed fine. I went to work. I saw friends. I even laughed. But inside, it was like a switch had flipped. I knew I should be heartbroken, but I just felt blank. It was unsettling. Looking back, I realized that was my mind's way of shielding me from that intense pain of loss all at once. Now, the connection between emotional numbness and trauma is significant. Trauma, by its nature, is overwhelming. It can be a single intense event or a series of difficult experiences. When faced with such intense emotional stress, our systems can go into survival mode. Emotional numbness becomes a way to cope, to distance ourselves from the unbearable feelings associated with the trauma. I experienced trauma in a series of intense events during my 23 years as an emergency department nurse. My system went into survival mode dealing with the daily trauma, tragedy, and stress I've encountered over the years. I realized I developed a delayed trauma response in my everyday life in order to cope with emotions. So how do we cope with these emotions? Tip number one, we have to recognize that emotional numbness is a response to something, not a character flaw. It served as a purpose at some point, even if it no longer serves you. Be gentle with yourself as you explore this. Have you ever experienced a time when you felt emotionally numb after a stressful event? What was that like for you? Leave a comment below and share your experiences even if you feel uncomfortable. Your story might resonate with someone else who's going through something similar. The challenge with emotional numbness is that while it offers temporary relief, it ultimately hinders the processing of trauma. To heal from trauma, we need to acknowledge, feel, and work through the emotions connected to those experiences. When we are numb, those emotions remain locked away, unprocessed. It's like trying to clean a wound without being able to see the dirt that's trapped inside. Imagine someone who experienced a traumatic accident. They might intellectually understand what happened, but if they are emotionally numb, They feel like they might avoid thinking or talking about it entirely. They fear the grief, the anger associated with the event and remain untouched, potentially manifesting in other ways like anxiety, sleep problems, or even physical symptoms. How can you recognize if emotional numbness might be preventing you from processing trauma? Here are some signs to look out for. A general feeling of detachment or disconnection from yourself and others. Difficulty experiencing joy or pleasure, even in the things you used to enjoy. It might be trouble crying or expressing sadness, even when you feel you should. Feeling emotionally flat or apathetic most of the time, or even difficulty remembering details of the traumatic event. This can sometimes be linked to emotional avoidance. A sense of going through life on autopilot without really feeling present. Engaging in avoidance behaviors such as staying busy or using substances to distract from underlying feelings. Do any of these signs resonate with you? It takes courage to acknowledge these feelings, and you are incredibly strong for being here and considering these questions. Type yes or no in the comments, and trust me, you're not alone. Tip number 2, and I say this a lot, journaling can be a helpful tool to explore your feelings. Even if you don't feel much initially, try to write out your experiences and notice any subtle sensations or thoughts that arise. You suspect that emotional numbness might be a barrier to your healing. There are steps you can take to gently reconnect with your emotions. This is a process, so be patient and kind to yourselves. Engaging in mindfulness practices or exercises like mindful breathing or body scans can help you become more aware of the subtle sensations in your body, which can be the first whispers of underlying emotions. Safe and supportive relationships. Connecting with people you trust and feel safe with can create a space where it feels safer to explore your feelings. Talking about your experiences, even if you don't feel much initially, can be a starting point. Creative expression. Engaging in activities like art, music, or writing can provide an outlet for emotions that you might not be able to access verbally. Gentle movement, guys. Practices like yoga, walking in nature can help to release tension in the body, which can sometimes hold onto unprocessed emotions. For me, when I was experiencing that numbness after my breakup, actually it was a divorce, I found that listening to music that resonated with sadness, even though I didn't feel it intensely at first, it started to create little cracks in that emotional wall. Eventually, the feelings began to surface in more manageable ways. It's also important to acknowledge that processing trauma can be a complex journey, and sometimes professional support is essential. A therapist or a counselor trained in trauma can provide a safe and guided space to explore your experiences and help you gently reconnect with your emotions in a way that feels safe and manageable for you. There is strength in seeking support, and it's a sign of your commitment to your healing. Tip number 3, research therapists in your area who specialize in trauma. Many offer consultations to see if their approach feels like a good fit for you. Remember, finding the right support can make a significant difference. What are some ways that you found helpful in connecting with your emotions? Share the insights in the comments below. Your wisdom could be incredibly valuable to someone else on their healing journey. The journey of healing. Healing from trauma and overcoming emotional numbness is not a linear process. There will always be days when you feel more connected to your emotions and days when the numbness might feel stronger. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small victories and remember that every step you take towards understanding yourself is a step forward on your path to healing and wholeness. You are resilient, you are capable, and you deserve to feel the full spectrum of your emotions in a healthy and safe way. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly hope this conversation has offered you some insight and perhaps a little bit of hope. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you think might be going through something or benefit from this message.